Happy Multichrome Monday. Today's video I'm going to be showing you 10 multichrome eyeshadow recommendations for spring, and it's an extra exciting video because it is a collab with another multichrome queen, and that is Seeking Shifts aka Riley. We are collaborating together to bring you a total of 20 multichrome eyeshadow recommendations. I'm doing 10, she's doing 10. Please make sure you check out her channel if you love sparkly indie eyeshadows, multichrome. She has some amazing content on her channel. She recently started a channel. She's already reached 1,000 subscribers, and I'm so excited and so happy for her. And also make sure you follow her on Instagram. So much amazing eyeshadow content, and I will link all her information down below, so make sure you check out her video to see 10 multichromes that she recommends for spring, and her 10 are going to be totally different from my 10. We made sure that there's no crossover. So let's get right into it. I just have them in this empty Clionadh palette. Ta-da! These are them. Now I try to balance it out and not pick too many shades from one brand. And if you happen to have any of these shades, then this is your reminder to bring them out for spring and play around with them. And I'm going to be going in no particular order. The way I went about this was I really wanted kind of one of each color, and I wanted something for the most part bright and colorful, but also layerable, so none of these are really too dark. There's one shade that has a little bit of a darker base, but for the most part these are all pretty translucent, so you can also really layer these over colorful mattes. So first up is Mustafa, and this one is from Terra, and I knew I wanted a beautiful orange multichrome in here, and this one is just so sparkly. And this one is a little bit more textured, but it does smooth out, and I'm just going to be doing the swatch on the back of my hand. You can see it's really sheer, and it's got a lot of sparkle to it. We've got a pinky orange, almost flash straight on. It goes to like a lime green almost, and then a yellow. Next up is Fairy Fire from Devinah. I knew I wanted a yellow kind of multichrome, and this one just has so many shifts to it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's pretty sheer, so while it does look quite yellow in the pan, it's got a lot going on, and this one does have a very smooth texture. I think this would also work as a highlight. It has a little bit more of a base than a iridescent multichrome, and so from my angle, I see blue. I completely see blue, and then there's also some green and some purple. I'm just spreading it on the back of my hand, so you can see the yellow, you can see the green, and then it goes into blue and purple. And this one, because it is yellow, it is a little bit more maybe neutral kind of multichrome, so you could definitely pair this with just like a brownish matte in the crease and this all over the lid for that extra oomph. Next up is Ring Tarts from Devinah, and this one I wanted a sheer blue purple. Now this one is not labeled as a multichrome on the website. I believe it's got the price tag of a duochrome. However, it has quite a bit of depth to it and different tones depending on the lighting. Super sparkly shadow. Again, lots of layerability. And this one is maybe just a little bit of a different texture, especially compared to Fairy Fire. And you can kind of see that just the way that it picks up on my finger. And this one just has that extra sparkle. And again, you could really layer this one over, especially blues and purples, to really bring out those tones. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more. I am doing these swatches dry, so you could get these more opaque if you use some sort of a glitter primer. So you have the blue, and then shifting into purple. Next up is Cosmic Dancer, and this one is from Terra, and this one is probably the darkest shadow from the 10 in a sense because of its base, and I just love this shadow. It's got like blue, purple, green going on. It's got a little bit of a brownish base to it, and it is super smooth and foiled and so shiny. So this one doesn't have sparkle to it necessarily, but it looks just absolutely so beautiful and smooth on the lid. Really easy to apply. And here it is swatched out. I'm definitely going to add another layer, and you could go and use this as a one and done type of eyeshadow, or you could pair this with just a matte in the crease, something in the outer corner, just whichever way you prefer. So you can see the green, it's like a greenish yellow, and then there's purple and there's blue, and you can see it has a little bit of a base, especially as I turn the hand like this way. I think you can really see that. Next up is a Waterfall, and this one is from Shellwe makeup. This one is relatively new to my collection, but it is so beautiful. I just love the layerability of this one and the different colors and tones. It is truly a transformative shadow, and it is super smooth and foiled. There's just so much you can layer this over. And I'm going to add just a little bit more so you can see how sheer it can get. And you can see it's got like a orangey, fiery almost look to it straight on. And then it's got that green base and it has a little bit of yellow as well as it shifts. I just love the shadow. This is super fun. You can layer it over red, layer it over the pink, you can layer it over green. And even though it is very smooth, I do feel like it has quite a bit of sparkle to it as well. Next up is Opulent from Clionadh Cosmetics. This is probably one of my still most favorite shadows from them, and I believe one of my most unique shadows as well. This one I just always have trouble describing, but this one is definitely a neutral leaning multi-chrome. Easy to use for everyday, pair it with some browns, but also could spice it up with some more colorful shadows like purples, pinks. It's got like a taupiness to it. It has a little bit of a base and it is very, very smooth. And I see green, I see gold, and then I see that almost like a deeper rosy tone base to it. I think you especially see it when I turn this way. There's just so much going on in the shadow. It is so dimensional. You could probably also just use this all over the lid and just feather out the edges, and you would almost essentially get like a, like you're wearing that eyeshadow effect when you're not, because it does have this base to it. My next recommendation is actually from the collaboration between Seeking Shifts, aka Riley, and ShineBySD. This is the shade Ice Blink, and it is just so good. This one is a perfect topper for really any multi-chrome. So this one just has such a unique texture and layerability to it, and it is so smooth with lots and lots of sparkle. It definitely will not accentuate any sort of skin texture. And it just has so many flecks throughout it, which is what really makes it so dimensional. And it is quite sheer. You could also use this as a blinding highlight. This one has an orange, gold, green, teal shift with some blue and gold and even silver flecks throughout it. And that's what just makes it so dimensional and so layerable over multi-chrome shadows or whatnot. I think this just all over the lid on a really nice sunny spring summer day will look absolutely beautiful. It will look wet. Next up is Diadem from Clionadh, and this one is just screaming spring and summer to me because there's so much going on, and I absolutely love the heavy blue base in it. And this one is smooth. It does have maybe just the tiniest bit of texture. You can kind of see it on my finger. However, it is very smooth once you swatch it out. And this one has quite a bit of base pigment to it. So while this one is not a darker multi-chrome, it is quite a bit of a bright multi-chrome. And you can especially bring out that blue base with a blue matte. So you got pink reflect, there's some green and the blue. It is just so magical. This one will be great for some more colorful looks. And of course, I had to add a pink shadow. This one is on Wednesdays We Wear Pink from Touch of Glam Beauty. And this one does come in a square pan, but I did repan it into a round pan. And this one has a little bit of a flaky texture to it. So I'm going to pick this one up and you're going to see it's got a little bit of flakiness to it, but it does smooth out as long as you really spread it and rub it. But it could pick up a little bit chunky on the brush. And this one is quite translucent, so I'm going to add just a little bit more to really show you just how impactful it can be if you really wanted to layer it and get it to be a little bit more opaque. And of course, a pink base would help with that. So you can see how it has so many different things going on. It's very similar in a sense to Fairy Fire because I feel like that shadow has just so many shifts. So in a sense, this is kind of similar, except maybe it's like shifting in reverse, because I do see a little bit of that kind of bluish green straight on, and then it's shifting to that. Last up is a purple. This is Flirtatious from ShineBySD, and ShineBySD just has so many beautiful purple multi-chrome shadows that are just all different kinds of tones of purple. And so I wanted to pick this one because I feel like this one is just truly such a stunning purple. It is nice and smooth, very shiny, very foiled. And oh my goodness, it has almost like a pink to it too. And then I'm just layering on a little bit more. Just look at that purple. I love this tone of purple. So there's the purple, the pink, and then there's the yellow. And it does have like a purpley base to it as well. But this one I think would be also amazing to just pair with some neutral mattes as well. Maybe some a little bit more plum leaning or mauve toned mattes. And here they are all swatched, which gives you an idea on kind of smoothness versus sparkle versus sheerness. So those are my recommendations of multichrome eyeshadows for spring. And thank you so much to Riley for collaborating with me on this video. I cannot wait to see your swatches and drool and make a little wish list, and make sure you go and watch her video. It is a link down in the description box, and I will also pin it in the comment. Let me know in the comments below which multichrome shadow you look forward to or you plan on using in spring. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.